Christopher Teigen. Miss
Oh, yeah.
Chrissy Teigen. She did the unthinkable. You know what she did, hot dog?
I know what she did. This thing I got worked for.
Squid Game party. Unfathomable. You're saying you got worked? Tell me about it. What do you mean you got worked by this?
I got worked by the controversy stirs on Twitter.
You got in your emotions?
Yeah.
They got you going? You took a side like an idiot?
Yeah, I mean, I already committed to not getting worked up for the Rittenhouse case. I have to go somewhere for this, you know.
I mean, this is. So you're sitting here going, like a minute ago, you were like, the Rittenhouse case, you were like, is that really going to have an impact on our day-to-day lives? Let's talk about Chrissy Teigen and her Squid Game party. I'm like, well, okay.
It's baby steps, you know?
Yeah. So were you mad at Chrissy Teigen for her Squid Games parties?
No, I'm mad at the people online who think there's such a deep meaning that mustn't be besmirched by the fact that Chrissy Teigen wants to do a cosplay of the show. Oh, so the biggest meaning that you guys can't understand in Squid Games. Capitalism bad. Ooh.
You did get worked, huh? What is it with you in Squid Game? That like when we talked about Squid Game, you're like, it's not that good. Like you have some kind of weird. You're like Scottie Pippen with Michael Jordan is hot dog with Squid Games. Like you can't just like. Why do you get so upset or find some reason to be upset every time this show comes up?
Because I feel like these Korean shows are on the rage right now. And
are on the rage.
Is that the right phrase?
On the rage?
Or all?
No, you had it right. On the rage.
No. But all people are crazy for these shows now, and they find one Korean show after I've been watching Korean shows for years, by the way.
I know, and all of a sudden
it's stupid enough to understand.
And now all of a sudden it's on the rage.
The one show that's simple enough to understand, and it just gives you it just hammers you over the head with this stupid meaning, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta watch this because of it tackles wealth inequality and all of this." Blah blah blah. It's fine, and you liked it because of the gore. It wasn't even that gory.
I saw 400 people get killed.
Yeah, whatever. Narcos is gorier than that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Narcos has special. What?
But you don't get someone's head sawed off or something like that. You know, whatever you liked for it. There's a show on Netflix that does it better.
I mean, Squid Game was a good show.
It was fine.
What Korean show are we missing that you're watching going like, oh, this is really challenging? You're not above hot dog. You're not above Squid Game.
It's a fine show,
but you're not above it. Like you're not. I mean, I know you. You're not. You're not above this.
I'm above. I'm not saying I'm above the show.
I mean, you're kind of saying you're above it, and I'm like, wait. Like, no. Like you're acting like you're not. Like. Hot dog, I don't mean to offend you, but if somebody said who's the most basic person you know, it would 100% without thinking be you. Like
apparently not, because you and Travis and Jim all love the show, and I am the only one who's standing here going, it's okay.
Yeah, but that's because you got some weird hang up. Like you don't even know. You're just shitty about it. I think it's because I truly believe it's because you think what are they calling it? There was a word for it. K-drama or something like that. Like you think
Korean drama, yeah, K-drama,
you
K-pop,
think
all that stuff.
Yeah, you think that like Korean entertainment, that you were there first. Even though you weren't. I mean, you were talking about Japanese stuff, not Korean stuff. But I've
watched Korean soap operas since 2010, Sam.
You used to say that you watched anime, and then we found out you didn't watch it at all.
I never said. I said I'm a fan of some animes.
And then people found people literally asked you opinions about anime that I've heard of, and you were like, I don't know anything about that.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, man, you don't know anything about any of this stuff. Like, I think you had a extremely surface, basic appreciation for like some Korean show, and you thought it made you special, even though you really didn't know anything about it, but you knew more than any of us did because none of us watched it. And then Squid Game comes out, and not only do people understand it at the very base level, but they're actually invested in it. Not invested in it just because it makes them different, like you, but actually invested in the show. And then you get upset because the show that you were like a quarter invested in doesn't make you interesting anymore. That's what I think is going on.
Even if the show wasn't crazy hot like that, I would have watched it and been like, it's an okay show. It's fine. You know, nothing stood out. Could
you comment on my thesis? Do you think it's possible that I might be onto something?
It's the great Joe Rogan says. It's entirely possible.
It's entirely possible that Hot Dog is a douchebag. Well, Chrissy Teigen caught it because this was her party. She had this celebrity party, and she posted about it on Instagram. Huge mistake, where she dressed up like the doll who says red light, green light in Squid Game. And it was a whole Squid Game themed party. She had all the Squid Games set up. She painted her house like the Squid Games. She, was making people get the shapes out of the biscuits. Oh, I'm still mad at that son of a bitch for making his friend pick Umbrella. You can't say, Hot Dog, that wasn't fucked up when he made his friend pick Umbrella, even though he knew what game it was. He was garbage, that guy. He's the same guy that stole my man's marbles. What a piece of shit.
Hey, survival of the fittest.
Yeah, and he died.
He did. Second place. But and there ain't no prizes for second place.
Second place, first loser in my book. She had a wait staff that was, because the celebrities, they have parties, they get like waiters. I've never had a party where I've had wait. I mean, I guess when I got married, there might have been a bartender or something, but where they dressed them up like the Squid Game characters, the waiters and waitresses had the Squid Game uniforms on. And there was even, this is it. I think this is it in a nutshell. There was even a big acrylic piggy bank hanging up with what I'm sure was fake cash inside, like Squid Games.
Or real. They got it like that.
Yeah, or it could be real. Yeah, it could be John Legend's cash. And they even had celebrities there. I saw pictures. There were there were all the celebrities were less than Chrissy Teigen, but they had celebrities there. And people got upset about it, or at least this article says people got upset about it because they said, and they had tweets. There were tweets about it that said that I know it's a big deal. That said that this is everything that the villains in Squid Game were about. That the Squid Game ultimately is about the haves and the have-nots, and the haves taking advantage of the desperation that the have-nots find themselves in, and the haves putting those have-nots in completely dehumanized positions and using them as pawns for their own entertainment because they are the haves and these are the have-nots. And people were saying,
what did Chrissy Teigen ever do to poor people?
I took all their cash. People are saying that, we've had this conversation before. Being rich is very not cool to young people these days. People don't like Elon Musk because he keeps getting money. But they basically said that, look, for the very, very rich to have a Squid Game party is, they accused him of being tone deaf, which is about the worst thing you can be. And I will say, look, as you're looking at this, are the optics problematic? Yeah, I guess. But
no,
you don't think the optics are problematic? You can't say the optics are problematic. The optics.
No, of course not.
Problematic.
No. you just got to look at it at first glance. Okay, it's their show. They like the show, even though it's fine. It's whatever, and they want to dress up as it. That's it. That's where it stops. There's no optics to be looked at.
Well, you don't think that this is similar to that politician that remember when Paul Ryan was running for vice president, the Republican politician, and he said, "My favorite band is Rage Against the Machine." And everybody goes, "What are you, a fucking idiot? Like, what the hell are you talking about? Your favorite band is Rage Against the Machine. You're literally the machine they are raging against in all the songs. There is one topic of every Rage Against the Machine song, and it's how evil you are. How can Rage Against the Machine be your favorite band?" And Paul Ryan was like, "I like the music. I don't know." You don't think that it would be similar when like somebody that's so rich that they throw a party where they have like a wait staff and paint their house and do all this stuff? You don't think that they're missing what's happening here?
I mean, if this party was happening, like, if it was like a politician or like Epstein or something like that, someone who's doing stuff, yeah, not someone who has a cookbook, then maybe the optics would be bad. But there's levels to it.
What makes you an elite person?
Not just being rich. It depends on what you do as well. If you're a very successful banker, that makes you that makes you an elite.
You think
you're famous?
You don't think Chrissy Teigen is influential?
Influential in a different way.
I mean, she's an influencer.
Yes, but she's not influencing stock markets or policy or anything like
Chrissy
that.
Teigen doesn't influence business?
Stock, like what her business
or her businesses that she endorses?
Oh yeah, like magazines and cookbooks.
Why do you keep saying cookbooks? Like publishing companies don't have, like publishing companies are publicly traded companies. So yeah. Chrissy Teigen's cookbook directly affects the stock.
And how much harm can a cookbook do?
What difference does it make if it's a cookbook or a goddamn encyclopedia? Why are you so against cookbook? It's mainly pictures in those books of food.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of influence you have. It's like Jake Paul is not having any kind of change. He's not changing the world. He's a influencer and he's doing all these things, but it's not something that's like, oh, do you know what Jake Paul just did? He just changed. The inflation just went up because of this person. It's not doing anything real world stuff.
Yeah. Joe Rogan?
No.
Joe Rogan is not. So Joe Rogan and Chrissy Teigen are in the same category.
I think there's levels to it. I think
you're not gonna trap me, Roberts. You're not gonna do that tonight.
You son of a bitch.
No. I know what you're doing, Roberts, and it's not gonna happen. Not to the D-O-double-G. I'm Hot Doge. You're not gonna trick me. Look, all I'm saying is this. Well, there's a couple of things at play here. Number one, there's levels to everything, and to an extent, Hot Dog, you are right. It's not like Chrissy Teigen. It's not like Chrissy Teigen and John Legend are actually doing Squid Games. Like they're not actually having people over and making the poor fight to the death for their amusement. Like they're not doing the Squid Games. They're having a Squid Game themed party. All that said, whether it's Squid Game or anything else, I do think that there is something like gross about these big, giant parties that wealthy people will throw where they're just spending crazy money just so the house looks like a thing, or like there's a wait staff that has to dress in a costume, or just the idea that like you're a celebrity. People want to come to your party because it's the place to be and they want to do this, and they want to make the right impression. And you make them come dressed up as Squid Games? That is so stupid. You know me, Hot Dog. You know, if Triple H is like, Sam, we're having a party, there's literally nothing that would stop me from going to that party, right? I'd be at that party, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he were like, it's a Squid Games party, so come dressed as your favorite Squid Games, you know I would do it.
Yes.
And you know I'd be miserable. I'd be so pissed. You know I wouldn't want to do that. Right?
Why?
It's not fun. Cosplay isn't fun.
That's a whole different argument.
I know. It's not fun. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I really don't like it when somebody else is making you do it. That's when I don't like it. If you want to go to Comic-Con, dress up as your favorite, whatever. Elf. Go do that. But if somebody else is going like, well, this is going to be a big party, and to come to my party, you got to be dressed as the old man from Squid Game. It's like, fuck. I mean, I can't not go to the party, but where am I going to get one of those stupid green tracksuits? And then Spirit Halloween will be like, we got them for 75% off. They didn't come in until November 3rd. But so I think that's gross. I think the big rich parties where they, they'd go so elaborate and over the top are gross anyway. I do think that it is missing the point that they don't see the hypocrisy in a bunch of rich people throwing a Squid Game party. That if Squid Game did exist, that they wouldn't be drawing numbers. Right? Like, that's the question. If Squid Game existed, hot dog, would the John Legend family be drawing numbers, or would they be in the glass room with all those golden masks on?
No, they'd be making bets and picking 66 because, 69 was
69. Yeah, they'd be acting really poorly in a glass room watching it. So, yeah. And also, and I think the most important point in all this is when it comes to like outrage on the internet and people going after you and everything, sometimes you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Okay? Like,
Ooh.
When a bunch of wrestling fans are booing me, I can't sit there and be like, this is out of line, this shouldn't be happening. Because this is the world I've chosen. If a bunch of comedians are making fun of me, I can't be like, guys, you shouldn't be making fun of me. This is out of line. Because that's the world that I've chosen. Because I'll participate in those activities when it's not me. So when it happens to me, I can't be that upset. If you participate on one side of this kind of outrage thing, the outrage cycle, and then it cycles back around and lands on you, you can't be mad when that happens to you. You fed that beast. If you're feeding that beast, you can't be mad when you watch it grow and eat you. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Chrissy Teigen has had plenty of instances where she's let everybody know when she feels that something ain't right. When she feels that somebody ain't right. When she feels that we need to go after somebody. There's plenty of instances of that. So, if she wants to keep being public on the internet after she's had hey, this is wrong. When people see her doing something wrong, live by the sword, die by the sword. Let's go. Let's go. That's where I'm at with it. And also, I think my Paul Ryan Rage Against the Machine comparison was right on.
Wise words, Sam.
You don't think it's right on because apparently it's only for politicians.
Politicians and
bankers.
People who take advantage of children, yeah.
Oh, well, we don't want to go down that road.